Kia ora and greetings from Aotearoa, where my body is very happy to be in a space, a sacred space of love to call home, her turangi waiwai, and have time to integrate this enormous journey that we've been on, that we'd like to share part 2 with you this evening and this morning. So let us begin by going through the holographic alignment process to come into harmonic with one another, so that everything that we are here to share with one another may easily be transferred for those that are open to receive. Aligning physical, mental, and emotional bodies with all-pervading soul or higher self and monadic galactic self. Activating the Earth Star, 1 foot or half a meter beneath the feet, and connecting through the divergent meridians of the planetary body. Earth de luz, light, fuego, fire, agua, water, and oro, crystal mineral kingdom. And inviting those primordial elements of creation up through our pillars to cleanse, clear, and purify, rejuvenate, regenerate, recalibrate. All the way up to the soul star, 1 foot, half a meter above the head, connecting with our celestial nature and inviting that down to mix and mingle with our terrestrial nature as we surrender through the core of Source in the heart of Gaia, where the new true earth architecture emerges. And really allowing ourselves to soften and surrender into the pelvic bowl, into the root, the base, the womb space, our center of creation. Relaxing into our bodies, surrendering into the earth body, and arriving home. Surrendering through the core of Source in our own heart spaces. The core of Source in the heart of the Sun and in the heart of the great central Sun. The core of Source in the heart of the Moon and in the heart of Tea, our ancient moon, part of which is embedded in the African continent. As we activate our solar and lunar discs. And surrendering through the core of Source in the galactic center into Homo Universalis, our ancient future selves. Wherever that's orientated in your system, be that through the umbilical or through the third eye, our gateway to God, the all-seeing and the all-knowing. We invite everybody to inhale, exhale with sound as we strengthen and fortify our own unique pillar. Inhaling, exhaling with sound as we strengthen our own pillar, honoring the place on the planet where we stand today, honoring the guardians in the seen and the unseen realms who are joining with us. And inhaling, exhaling with sound as we connect around and through the planetary body. Unifying our consciousness for today's journey. Calling upon our highest possible soul, destiny, and service to person, people, and planet in accordance with divine will and divine plan. in right relationship with our physical bodies and human experience, and infused with health, wealth, and abundance into overflow. Kindness, empathy, compassion, conscious community, deep intimacy, and love. Authenticity, creativity, and synchronicity. And play, passion, and pleasure as we sing the song of life one more day. And as I hand you over to Casey, maintaining that connection and coherence.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to open the field a little bit more, broadening our connective web, gaining access a little bit further as we open the field to the universal systems that are coming in connection with us. Broadening our antennas and allowing more frequency, more bandwidth to come in to the circle and join us. Welcoming into the field the flashes of light, the color changes, the electromagnetic webbing around us. Everything is intensified and electrified at this time. There's a sharpness, a crispness that you can feel when you connect to the grid. The earth grids, the crystal grids, the cosmic alignment grid. As we know, there have been activations in some of our sacred sites. Egypt is coming back online. The alignment process has started again. We wish to welcome into the field the master crystals that wish to be a part of the circle today also. The ones that activate and turn on the light cities, the crystal cities. They're coming back into the field of awareness. The vibrational changes allow them to participate once again. The ebb and flow of the ocean tides, bringing in new currents, new vibration, new plasma fields. There is an intensity of the shift that is approaching. There's a changing in the physical process of the tectonic plates at this time also. We wish to bring your awareness to the plates. Some of them are subdividing, creating new plates into themselves, allowing there to be cracks and fissures where before there were none. This will change the physical topography of what we see around us. And how the islands move systematically, gaining more ground, losing some ground, depending on where they are on the earth plane. This is an important time to pay attention to to notice around you what is happening, the earth changes that have begun. Pay attention to the islands. Everything starts from the midline and works its way out. There is excitement in the air for the changes to come. Rest assured that you are protected, that you are taken care of, that all is done in divine order. It's a part of the moving forward process. There's nothing to fear, but awareness is key. This is how we shift out of timelines. We allow new changes to come forward. The earth is required to change physically, energetically, vibrationally. She is waking up. If you are ready, we are ready to participate in the group field at this time. Anchoring back into our individual pillars, adding some density to our physical bodies, staying in this expanded connected field. When you're ready, add some gentle movement, wiggling your toes, feeling yourself connected to Gaia where you stand on the earth. Adding some gentle movement to your hands, breathing deeply into your bodies, and choosing to come all the way in by opening your eyes at this time.
Thank you, Casey. And thank you for all who are able to join us in person today and from the replay. It's quite interesting that we're literally meeting right on the apex of the full moon, which is in 2 minutes from now. We'll often kind of be flowing with time rather than the moon, but obviously we needed to connect right now for this gathering today. And it feels important to start where we left off with our last gathering for continuity, to let you know the other pieces that unfolded during our ancient future sacred journey through Egypt. We mentioned about the African pyramid system that wanted to be shared more when we had a bit more understanding of it. And I don't know if we have any more understanding of it, but we'll share it anyway. So what unfolded just before our last gathering was, many of you have seen just through media and leader photography, the big power systems beneath the Giza pyramids, the main 3 pyramids. However, as many of you know, there's a lot more pyramids across the Giza plateau. And when we went out to Dashur, where there is the bent pyramid, which was not a mistake, it's actually an archaeological genius, the way the pentagram and hexagram are embedded within the one pyramid there, and where the red pyramid and the black pyramid exist. And we found out there that there was also an enormous power center, in fact, the main power center beneath that pyramid system as well, that has not yet been photographed, or if it has not yet been shared, but that exists out in Dashur, which is probably about, 45 minutes drive away from Giza main plateau, where the 3 pyramids are. So as that was unfolding, it was also showing us how as this pyramid system was energetically reconnecting to the big power stations beneath it, it was also connecting with the African pyramid system, that goes from Giza, from Egypt, all the way down the Nile and all the way into Sudan. So there's a whole pyramids network that's coming online right down through Africa that has not been online for some time. And I don't know if, Casey, if you want to speak into how that connects also into Kilimanjaro, one of the highest peaks in Africa that's on the border there of Kenya and Tanzania, down in East Africa.
Only to say that we know that Kilimanjaro is dormant at this time. He's not fully activated. He's not awake and contributing the same way that some of the other volcanoes that are in the Ring of Fire are. It feels like he can't come online until the pyramid system is like fully operational.
As you say that, it feels that there's more in southern Africa waiting to come online that will bring all of those online, that comes down through into South Africa. And then Kilimanjaro acts like a switch, a connector through the planetary, through the African pyramid system. And from South Africa, it then connects down to the pyramid system in Antarctica. So all of that feels like it'll be coming online in the next few months, all the way through. So we will be watching and witnessing and how that unfolds. And we were blessed really to have our journey complete with a private visit within the Great Pyramid on our last night, which was quite extraordinary. I've been in there a number of times now during just public visits, but also on private visits, and every journey's different. Every experience, every group's different. And this time, the middle chamber and the upper chamber, which is referred to as the King's Chamber, were open for us to explore through there. And very much we just were open for people to find their flow or where they needed to be when during that time, so that everybody would have their own unique experience. And my experience was quite unique. I ended up just lying down on the floor in the middle of the upper chamber or the King's Chamber for quite a long while and completely dissolving. And my system is still in a place of dissolution from that experience. I was just asked today, how did it feel to be in there? And in a way, it feels like my infinite self is still there, and this is going to be a month of integration of what it is to integrate that into my terrestrial nature. So it feels like October is going to be very much being the mushy caterpillar in the chrysalis and see what wants to emerge at the end of it. And it feels very connected with our 12-strand but 24-strand DNA coming online, which is related to that stage of our evolution we refer to as Homo universalis in our evolutionary journey, which we have the potential to embody in this earth walk, with awareness that the ones that are arriving now onto the planet are landing with what is beyond that as well. So it's an extraordinary time to be walking this earth and getting to experience and explore this great unfolding. And on that note, I'd love to hand you over to Chanel, who was taken from our completion on Giza Plateau all the way out to the western end of Egypt to Siwa Oasis, and then right the way across to Sinai to St. Catherine's, and what unfolded for her and us through that journey.
Thank you, Leanne. Hi, everybody. I'm still just fully landing. I just got back into Cape Town yesterday, but I knew that there was some exciting things to share. So, yes, as Leanne mentioned, there was a continuation of the walk that we did as I was pulled to opposite ends of Egypt, and the first one was Siwa. So Siwa is an 8-hour drive from Cairo all the way to the west, pretty much close to the border. And you're driving through just desert, 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 and then all of a sudden you arrive at this incredible oasis that is Siwa Oasis. And there is a lot of mountain ranges in the area, and all of these mountain ranges are made from limestone. So there's a lot of limestone in the area, and there's one particular mountain there called Gafar Mountain, which is where I was stationed right beneath that mountain. And Siwa, and especially this mountain, Gafar Mountain, as it came through to me, was a really important sacred node in the crystalline grid. And there's actually a temple of light that is on top of this mountain, of Gafar Mountain. And this node is really important because it holds original codes of creation. And because of the geography and the location of Siwa, it's very isolated. It's far away from a lot of the rest of Egypt, and it's still very much uninfluenced by the modern world. It's very traditional. The community there has not allowed much influence from the outside world, and so it is quite special. But because of this isolation and also the landscape of the area being, limestone, there's a lot of salt and salt pans there, it's been able to preserve the codes there quite well, keeping it free from distortion and any sort of outside influence. And so because of the walk that we did together during the Ancient Future journey, specifically at the Sphinx where we unlocked the codes for the original timeline, these original codes held at Siwa are ready to be unlocked and disseminated and released from where it is stored in this temple of light and in this node, and disseminated across the rest of the field or rest of the world. And so that was a lot of the work that was being done there, is really unlocking these undistorted original codes of creation. And because a lot of our work throughout our walk together also was linked to the Divine Union codes, and we also picked up those important schematics for sacred sexuality. So both of these pieces, these codes for Divine Union and also these schematics for sacred sexuality, were also deposited in this Temple of Light. So they may be stored there as codes that can be free from distortion and holding its original undistorted vibratory structures there in that location. So that was the key work that was done at Siwa. And a lot of there was also a lot of repair work done within the crystalline grid so that this information, these codes, can be released and disseminated across, wherever they need to be, free from interference and distortion. So there was this repair work that was done. And Siwa is really it's such an incredible space to be in. It was, really, really beautiful. And then my journey took me from Siwa all the way across the east to St. Catherine's, which is located at the foot of Mount Sinai. You have to pass through underneath the Suez Canal to get to this part of Egypt. And again, you're surrounded by these incredible mountains. And a lot of these mountains are actually made from red granite, which was very fascinating. And it was interesting because from our group, there was already 2 others that had passed through St. Catherine's, one intentionally and one not intentionally. She was routed through St. Catherine's. So there was important work that we did there together. And St. Catherine's as well is a really important node on the crystalline grid, and the work there was mainly linked to the Divine Union. So the Divine Union codes were deposited here in St. Catherine's as well as we unlocked codes linked to Christ consciousness, so that these codes that were stored there, held there, are now ready again to be unlocked and accessed as and when they need. So this was the work that was done there. And there was also clearing that was done of old distorted code linked to Divine Union, and specifically the Divine Masculine Feminine template linked predominantly to the suppression and vilification of the feminine, particularly within religious doctrine, as there's a lot of very old ancient code stored there that has been used within our understanding of religion. And so a lot of that was cleared during my time there. So yeah, it was really special, and a continuation of this walk that we did. And I think that's all that wants to come through. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chanel, and thank you for the ongoing journey and making the home and time and awakened time to share it with us. And maybe we just pause there to see if there's any other questions or contributions to the field of what's been unfolding so far, because we know many of you too have been busy in your different points on the planet during this time. There was an interesting piece that I didn't realize till afterwards. When we were working with Hatshepsut Temple, which is in Upper Egypt on the West Bank, opposite Luxor, up behind the hills, a couple of the group had inspiration. We needed to do a photo shoot dressed in black, looking something like off the Matrix. And we went along and did the photo shoot, and then I was asked the other day, why haven't I shared it? And I said, it looks like we've gone and taken the photo, but we haven't done the work yet. That there was the female pharaohs or the female rulers in Egypt were known for their the harmony of their rules, the abundance during their time of ruling, the peace and the prosperity. And what I discovered just a few nights ago from the dream time is that it was actually at the end of Hatshepsut's time of rulership there that the false matrix was actually anchored through the planetary system. So that was quite some time ago. And there was something about that wished to be deconstructed during our gathering today. And if I ask, there was 3 anchor points. One's in Hatshepsut. One's in the Giza Plateau area, the middle pyramid there. And the other one's over in Sinai. And that wishes to be completely dismantled during our gathering today. So maybe we just invite everyone into their pillar for this process, starting with Sinai, and then Giza, and then Hatshepsut, to completely dismantle the last remaining anchor points of this through all levels, starting in Earth, in Sinai. Planetary level, solar level, and galactic level. And coming to Khafre, or the middle pyramid on the Giza Plateau. and to Hatshepsut, Temple, West Bank. And removing all residue from the planetary system in Earth, Solar Galactic Universal. During this turning over of time, dismantling the old so that the new may be birthed true to the original timelines. For our planet and all of humanity. It's interesting, if I'm asking if we're complete yet, we're not. There's like, it's like the switch needs to be turned on now.
I think I have a piece for this because I've been in curiosity for a minute. Since Chanel's been talking about her activation on the crystalline grid, her version of the grid feels different than what I have access to, and I don't understand fully what that means. Just in complete curiosity, it feels almost like we're working dimensionally from different access points, or she's working on the ancient timeline and I'm working on a different timeline. I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't feel the same.
You're right. I'm getting they are different. It feels like where Chanel's been working is on the ancient ones, and where you've been weaving is what a lot of have been referring to as the crystalline grid. But
Yeah, I feel like I'm working through the crystal cities and expanding out. But there's something about the merging of the two in this situation that is like we need to combine the ancient and the new crystalline grid together.
And this is where I said it's like we've done that bit, that dismantling, but these two bits, but there's a switch that needs to happen. And this is the switch. It's like it's connecting it where the two become one, where our ancient future gets switched on. So is just one switch. There's 4 switches that need to be turned on today that will connect the new and the ancient. First one's in Antarctica. So my feeling is we're going to Antarctica just to turn the switch on, and then we'll ask where the next one is. And this is connecting the two. So as everyone comes into their pillar, we'll see what's required down in Antarctica. And somehow this also connects through to the planetary pyramid system. So there's 7 levels to the switch coming on, starting with source in the core of the earth. Inner earth. planetary, solar, galactic, universal, and source. Welcome to Sound, Breathe and Move if you're integrating this simultaneously through your own system on a cellular level. And the next point is in the Middle East, in Jerusalem. So this one's starting source externally. Universal. Galactic. Solar. Planetary. And Earth. And source. It's the second one complete. The third switch is in Guatemala, in Central America. And that one's going to start from the source in the center of our planetary body. And Earth. Solar. Galactic. And universal. Source. That's the third switch complete. And the fourth one's in Europe. In Greece. Interesting, I'm getting Corfu, where the Athena and Apollo meet. So starting externally from source. Reverse. Galactic. There we go. Fourth switch complete. Interesting little bonus. How does that look from the outside?
I was watching the pyramid system in Africa turn on, or energetically light back up from the bottom.
It's like it's rewritten from Antarctica up with
Mhm.
that. Yeah. So maybe it's not going to unfold in the months to come. Maybe it was going to unfold in the minutes to come. Wow.
If I can come in here, there was a knot that was unknotted. And as I unknotted that knot, it's like this whole string was pulled that formed from, again, from Egypt to South Africa and passed to Antarctica. And as the knot unwoven, the next knot was able to unweave as well. And then it wove back. And through doing so, activated the original creation line. And all of those energies are starting to circulate in the original direction intended to restore and regenerate the line from within. And that's what I'm also seeing the two grids that we were talking about is starting to align. It's not aligned yet, it's starting to align. And as they align more, as we now unknot it and starting to reweave back into being, it will naturally come into alignment. We just had to activate that. And those two will start talking to each other so that there's a original one beneath that as well that will then start activating the different crystalline centers for the cities to come online.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you, Soretta. My buddy loves that. It feels like I'm sitting inside a champagne bottle now.
Yeah, and it's the message is literally those with the codes that's in the centers of the different cities knows when the moment will be to come into being. The collective is not ready to receive so much crystalline essence coming through yet. So we're all being recalibrated across all the kingdoms. So it includes all the plants, animals, crystals, minerals, and the elements are all being recalibrated simultaneously for their cosmic bodies to come into being, and therefore needs to move through the universalis and galactic and homoluminous expressions. And all of that recalibration will start weaving over the next few days. It's not going to take long. It's over the next few days as the solar flashes are also settling through the crust of the earth.
Yeah, beautiful. We're literally going to be able to recalibrate at the rate we can integrate. And it's interesting too that we've got these three comets on the scene right now. We've got Atlas, Swan, and Lemon behaving as comets don't usually behave, that are mixing and mingling in our solar system from outside during this process.
Yeah, and we must just set the intention that the collective that is uncertain about the supportive role of those comets, just to clear that, because they are interfering with what needs to occur. So just clearing that field for that to be received in the way that it was intended.
It feels like there's two more pieces that wish to come through our meeting today. Siren? Do you have a contribution at all?
Not specifically pertaining to this, however, the alignments of when you were in Egypt on your trip and what you were speaking about before with the divine union, there was actually that unfolding where I was in Monument Valley, and I actually selected this picture, not particularly knowing what the conversation was going to be about at the gathering, but there was Monument Valley and Mystery Valley, and then the alignments of that, along with all of the red rock, internal earth pyramidal structures, if you want to say it that way, with the different networks through the systems. There's Mystery Valley is very much caves and portals, which is very feminine. Monument Valley was very masculine with all of its structures. So there was literally like this weaving going on through that eclipse into this now with this moon and all the cycles of September and everything that's cycling through and connecting and coming alive, reconnecting, dismantling, reconfiguring, and all the layers in between. But there was different pivoting points between that weaving that was bringing the masculine, the feminine together, and also rising the receded or the silenced codes, all these different codes that have been within the earth, through layers of, trauma, etc., embedded in different places. And those things have been coming back, you could say online, but with the rising, receding of the waters, earthquakes, etc., they're all clearing out, opening up, speaking again, or reconfiguring into something different, or making space for what's going on in this now so we can do rebuilding. So it's parallel in a lot of ways through the lines, but there's also the parallel to the way I'm feeling it of Uluru. Uluru in Australia. And there's a lot of parallels with everything that's reawakening, so that all these dormant codes can be acclimated into our systems, which are reacclimating and awakening as well. So that's what I have.
Thank you for that contribution. It felt important piece of the puzzle that wished to be shared today. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So what's the last piece?
Well, as Siren was just speaking, I was saying that there's like a cosmic gathering that's going to be happening at Uluru in connection with these 3 comets. It's like a big party place, feels like. There's going to be a big activation there.
It's funny, as soon as Siren mentioned Uluru, I'm like, we did something with Uluru during the journey, but I cannot tell you where it was or what it was about now. But I know that Uluru came into our weaving in Egypt.
It's been coming through a lot. I've been feeling that a lot lately, even through the different desert, the desert pyramid structures within the earth in general, but also the ones that are being so-called found, these ancient underwater pyramids. There's so much intercorrelation between all of them that are now literally like speaking down that phone line to each other. Like it's like the telephone network, but as one's waking up, they're dialing each other to wake up too.
They are, and it feels to mention the third site out there in the heart of Australia. A lot of people are aware of Uluru and, or Ayers Rock, it was referred to. A lot of, not so many people are aware of Katajuta, which is a little ways away from Uluru, an initiation site, particularly for men. Very, very powerful site there. So there's Uluru and Katajuta. And years ago, when I was drinking tea with Kerry Strongman, very white Maori brother that was physically big and energetically huge, that worked with the swamp kauri that came down in the last pole shift. He told me of something that had popped up on internet some years earlier and was up for a very short time that before it was taken down, and that was leader photography out there in the Australian desert in the area of Katajuta and Uluru. And he said beneath the sands there is buried an ancient city, and from the leader photography they could see literally gold bowls that were 10 meters in diameter buried beneath the sands out there. He said it was only there for a very short time and then it was wiped away from the internet. So that particular ancient sacred site wants to be mentioned into the mix today for those that it's relevant to.
I just want to share a vision I had a few years ago, but it keeps coming up in this moment, is many of the crystalline cities' foundational structure seemed with first sight that it is sand that has been there, and that sand is almost like all the bodies that has disintegrated and the bones that was left, and it's laying upon all the pyramid structures, but at the root of it all, I see the stamping of the earth stamping, and then the sand start moving, and that movement creates them to circulate upwards for the crystalline cities to become visible, which it can't before that action happens, for that particles to start circulating and moving and regenerating all those bone. It looks like sand, but it's bones that was, broken down. And it's something around about if that starts happening, it will automatically allow for the crystalline structures, particles to start interacting, for the cities to be switched on.
It takes the master crystals turning on to activate the cities to begin to rise.
Yes.
I had a date with Destiny set for tomorrow to go to Shasta to retrieve the records of the crystal cities, but they already started downloading in my field tonight, so I don't need to go. But through that download, I have this master crystal, which feels like it's sitting in my solar plexus right now. And there's something about that activating my light body of how I interface with the crystal cities. And I know it's not just me. I know that if this is not just for me, it's for everybody who holds this. But if I can understand my system, then I can help reawaken and activate the others.
Hmm.
Wow. I love these gatherings for how between us we can bring the different pieces of the puzzles together to see a greater picture. Yeah.
All the master crystals have just answered you. I love that. All the master crystals on Gaia has just received those words. Thank you. It's beautiful.
What a weaving. Well done, team. We didn't know where we would get taken today, and what a delight. Thank you all for your presence, your love of our earth, and your commitment and dedication to service during this exciting turning over of time. As we return fully intact onto the earth plane, I'd love to hand you back over to Casey to close our journey for today.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to sit in this field for just a minute, recognizing the beautiful sound of the crystals that begin to sing to us as we're in connection to the resonance. These ancient ones that have been waiting to wake up and ready to sing again. And it is through these activation of the master crystals, the light cities, Gaia turns back on, understanding that this is just part of the greater picture. That once the master crystals are online, then the cosmic master crystals can again come and sing and play as well. Activating the light cities throughout the cosmic space. And understanding that we are not on this journey alone. It takes each one of us that remembers, that steps back into who we are. It takes the support of our light teams, our star families, the support of all of those interstellar cosmic beings, helping Earth, humans, star beings, celestial bodies to reawaken and remember. Turning on our 12 strands of DNA when we are ready, stepping back into our celestial beings, and stepping back into the connection to Source at all times. Grateful for the journey that we have been on today, for the continuation of the journey as it unfolds. We will gently step back into our individuated pillars, allowing all this information to integrate, to land, to fully embody. Giving gratitude for where we stand connected to Gaia. And feeling the light consciousness that each one of us holds and anchors as we stand on the earth plane. That we create a web of light together. That we are all connected. With so much love and gratitude, stepping back fully into our bodies at this time. Allowing some gentle movement to come into your toes, into your fingers, breathing deeply into your system. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming all the way back into the space.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you to everyone who participated in our Ancient Future sacred journey in person and in presence and weaving with us from afar. And how exciting to have our new grid system integrating our Ancient Future coming online. And let's see what that means for us personally, collectively, planetary, and cosmically. Much love from Aotearoa, Aroha Nui, until we meet again in 2 weeks' time on the new moon. I wonder what the world will look like then. Thank you, everyone. And blessed be.